from earlier tonight.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the ASAP Sports Network for another show of Between the Ropes. I am Ace from the West Coast. I am joined tonight by none other than, that's right, we call him Mr. Mess Around Dave. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. What's up with you guys?
Oh, I am fantastic. All right. And then, of course, you know what? All right, we invited him back again. We just keep inviting this guy, you know. He's like one of those zits you get that you pop it and it just continues to come back.
Yeah,
cockroach, but hey,
yeah, it just comes back. But this guy is known as the Dragon Viper. How you doing tonight?
Doing good.
Doing good. All right. And then, of course, we have our fan favorite tonight, watching from work. We got the wife. Yeah, Miss Barbara, that's right. How's it going? All right, how's it going? All right, so before we jump into our topics, we have something interesting for you. I don't know if you two have seen it, but we actually have commercials now for our housekeeping, for our little ads that we do. Have you seen those yet?
No.
I have not.
You have not. Okay. So the first sponsor that we're going to pull up on the screen, Nate the Great, go ahead and pull up Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, please.
Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us, from all of us here at the ASAP Network.
Paparazzi Jewelry. Come and get it, please. Yeah, we all like that. We like that video. That video is awesome. I love it. All right. So then, of course, we have our next one, which is none other than the great Misty Meadows. And I'll tell you, Misty Meadows is actually one of my favorites. And that is simply because, you know, of that barbecue sauce, the jam. I love it. All right. Nate the Great, go ahead and pull up a little bit of that Misty Meadows. And there was our great old Misty Meadows. All right, and then mess around. My question for you tonight, sir, as you answer for me every single week, how can somebody win one of those free T-shirts?
Well, they can win one by commenting on one of our shows and liking and sharing. You have the most comments at the end of the month, you'll be the viewer of the month. If you don't want to do that, you just don't have time, you just want to listen, you think a comment might be stupid, you can always get a hold of any one of us here on the network and we'll get you one for $14.95 plus shipping and handling. And we'll get it out to you ASAP. They look great, don't they? See, I'm repping one tonight.
ASAP. When you look at the shirt that Mess Around Dave has, you have to ask yourself, you have to say, man, what is a better deal? That right there you could get for $14.99. But an even easier way, though, just like Mess Around and said, all you have to do is like, share, and comment. Be the most person to comment throughout the month, and guess what? You get your free T-shirt. We've already had several of them. All right. So with that being said, now we're going to jump into our topics of the night. and we always start with Monday Night Raw. So, with Monday Night Raw, Mr. Dragon Viper, why don't you go ahead and give us the first match of the night for Monday Night Raw?
The first match of the night was Charlotte Flair versus Lacey Evans, with Lacey Evans winning with the help of Ric Flair.
Yeah, so what's kind of interesting about this, and I'm going to be straight up front about this, this is kind of going in like an interesting direction. Is this kind of showing that Lacey Evans is going to have some kind of like love affair with Ric Flair? Because if it is, I don't know what to say, man. Like, this is going to be crazy because we know like Ric Flair's almost 80 and Lacey Evans is like in her late 20s. So I personally think this is going in a very weird direction. How this match ended, I mean, is this way it's going to end every single week? You got to think, though, when her dad, when Charlotte Flair's dad, Ric Flair, when he put Lacey Evans' foot on the rope and said, oh, her foot's on the rope, and then holds Charlotte Flair's leg down so Lacey Evans could get the pin. I mean, to me, that was just kind of a weird ending, but it's kind of interesting with the way that this rivalry is going. All right, so mess around. Go ahead and give me your breakdown of this match.
Yeah, like you said, this thing, it's getting dark and gross quick. Like, it reminds me of Mark Henry back in the day when he had that little thing with Moolah. And it was just so gross then, and it's gross now. Please stop this as soon as possible. Nobody wants to see it, I promise you.
No, and with the comment that came up on the side, the one thing that I can say that I think will that I could see going is, like she was saying, maybe because of who Ric Flair is in this one, that they're going to have her go with him to kind of help her kind of climb the tower a little bit to get that belt, and then once she gets it, she turns on Flair, to be like, I used you to get to the top. It could be something that you could potentially see. So, Dragon Viper, go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
Yeah, my thoughts on this match, I thought it was an okay match with, like you had said, a twisted, weird ending. I do end up seeing something happening between, Lacey Evans and Ric Flair. And just like Mess Around said, like in the late 90s when it was Mae Young and Mark Henry, something going on there. It's kind of odd. I really don't know what to think about that. But anyway, overall, it's strange how it ended, but I don't know. They're trying to put things around.
All right. So Dragon Viper, let me tell you this, because you said the whole thing with Mae Young and Mark Henry. Let's get this straight. It wasn't Mark Henry. He went by the name of Sexual Chocolate. So let's get that, because he went by Sexual Chocolate.
Sexual Chocolate Mark Henry.
Next match.
Yes, Sexual Chocolate Mark Henry. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the next match of the night.
Next match of the night was Jeff Hardy versus Jackson Ryker, with Jackson Ryker winning.
All right, Dragon Viper, you go ahead and start out and give me what you thought of this one.
I didn't really think much of this match. I thought it was kind of boring. I didn't find much sense behind this match. I mean, possibly building Ryker up as not only a bodyguard, but as an actual wrestler now. And on top of that, again, like I said last week, probably trying to keep Hardy on TV and trying to keep him relevant with working with the newer stars. That's all I have.
Dude, Jeff Hardy, I'll tell you this. Jeff Hardy's been one of my favorites forever. And it's kind of sad to see how back then, Jeff Hardy was in that main event slot, because we saw him win the WWE championship, which was technically the highlight of his career. We loved it. I loved it when I saw it. And then he came back, and I was like, hey, you know what? They might be giving him another shot. But then what do? WWE did what they always do, and that's bring back a big name guy again, and then they just continue to bury him and bury him and bury him and bury him. And that's what they're doing here, because this match here, this had nothing. Like, this is one of those matches that you're like, why are you sticking Jeff Hardy against Jackson Riker? It doesn't not make any sense. Why would you do that to Jeff Hardy? Like, to me, I wouldn't do that. Jeff Hardy deserves to be in the main event picture. Mess around. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on this.
Yeah, you're totally right about that. I mean, like, if you're gonna put him in a match against Jackson Riker, and if it's a short match, I believe Riker won by a roll-up, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
It wasn't even that long. If you're gonna put Riker in a match with a guy like Hardy, at least showcase Riker a little bit. Show how strong he is. Make him dominant. Have him squash Hardy if you're gonna do. Have him. You want this guy to seem relevant or whatever. You want to push this younger guy. You need to make him look strong. He looked really weak by getting the roll up. And honestly, I was really happy because at first it was going to be Hardy against Elias. And we've seen that a lot. And I was like, oh, no, not again. And then Elias says, oh, I got a thumb injury. I can't go. So Riker's going to face him. I'm like, thank God. So then after the match, he ends up fighting Elias anyway. So,
Yeah, but still, it's just, I just don't like what they're doing with Jeff Hardy. Personally, I don't.
I'm with you. I don't like what they're doing either.
I don't either.
I mean, we know that Matt Hardy isn't there anymore, so kind of the whole tag team thing, I would say, is kind of out of the picture right now, because I don't know who they would pair him with at this point in time, but you could still give him a title shot. And it doesn't even have to be a WWE title shot. It could be maybe a US title shot. Just a mid-card thing would be completely fine, but give him something. He deserves it.
He does.
Now, I don't know if you remember, speak of Jeff Hardy for a second, but I don't know if you remember, it was when Roman Reigns first left after COVID first hit, and then Braun Strowman stepped in and won the belt, right?
Right.
Now, I don't know if you remember this, but originally it was coming down between Jeff Hardy and Braun Strowman, and they actually decided to go with the route of Braun Strowman. But Jeff Hardy was being considered for it.
Well, that was the right call, though, going with Strowman, because he deserved it. He'd been there for a while, and they kept teasing him with the title, and then he gets suspended or written off for a while. So, but it would have been cool to see Jeff Hardy get another shot, though.
Well, I think that they're still trying to punish him for what he's done outside of the company and getting into a lot of trouble like he did. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I think that's what they're trying to do, is still punish him, even though I think he's been punished enough.
He hasn't. He's been out of trouble ever since he came back.
Yeah,
so
I
you can't.
Clean.
So you can't really punish a guy if the guy's been staying clean. You can't do it.
I'm just saying that could be their MO for him, or they could be helping him train other, lower stars like, Riker and Elias and all them. So,
but I will say this: the one comment that Will actually made on the side that I will say I kind of agree with. At first, I thought I was gonna like the Hardy Bros, but then after a while, I'm like, I didn't really care too much for the Hardy Bros. I
never liked it.
That just wasn't my thing. I'm glad that they kind of went away with that. That was kind of dumb. All right. So go ahead and give us the next match of the night there.
Well, then after Jeff Hardy and Riker, it ended up being Jeff Hardy versus Elias again, except this time with Hardy winning.
Yeah, but like I said, we've already talked a lot about Jeff Hardy, so and we kind of knew that maybe Jeff Hardy was going to end up being able to pick up the victory after losing to Riker because Elias didn't really need that win. Jeff Hardy needed it more.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and go to that next match of the night.
All right, next match was Keith Lee and Sheamus versus The Miz and Morrison.
The Miz and Morrison, Keith Lee's, huh?
And the winner was Keith Lee and Sheamus.
Of course, Keith Lee and Sheamus. Man, you had a whole lot of beef in the ring there, man. A whole lot of beef in the ring. But does this kind of, to you, seem interesting how you have the Miz, that's the Money in the Bank winner. He loses it once and then he gets it back. And then after getting it back the second time, you still have the guy losing matches?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Like why even give it back to him if you're not going to push him?
Yeah, it just doesn't – it does not make any sense that you're still going to have the guy lose matches after you gave him the briefcase back. What is the point of that? Like, I'm okay with Keith Lee and Sheamus winning because I can see that they're getting a push, winning a match. This particular match, no, you kind of have to give it to Miz and Morrison because when's the last time that they actually got a victory together as a tag team? It's been a while.
It's been a minute, yeah.
It really has been. So them having the belt, I mean, or sorry, not the belt, but the Miz having the briefcase and then not doing anything, I don't know. This is just weird. Maybe he cashes it in at the Royal Rumble. Maybe. I don't know.
Strange things.
So, mess around. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
So to me, this match was pretty good. It was entertaining. I really liked the part when he whipped Morrison into the buckle and the turnbuckle just like came down, and they had to work on it to put it back up during the break. That part was pretty cool. Keith Lee's really athletic. I'm starting to come around on him. I didn't like him at first, but the guy can move for a big dude. I'm impressed with him every week. Like I said, when he came out, I didn't care for him at all. But for me, I think they should have let Miz and Morrison win because, like you said, they're pushing him down. They gave him the briefcase back. They haven't done much with it, and I don't even think at this point they know what they're going to do with it. So, hey, ho, let's go.
Hey, ho, Miz and Morrison. Hey, ho. Yeah, so the thing that, we haven't really touched on in this match yet was the actual ring breaking. That was kind of an interesting thing. But that's something that we've seen in the past with big guys, with Brock Lesnar and Big Show. And then the other two are not coming up in my mind right now of who else broke it. But I know there was a few people who've actually broken the ring.
Braun Strowman and the Big Show.
Yeah, and so Jason Barber actually threw a question out there too, and I think it comes back to the Jeff Hardy thing when he was saying, why is it that way that since Matt isn't there, why isn't Jeff Hardy getting a push? And honestly, the answer to that question is we don't really understand why he's not getting a push. We don't even really know why he's getting a push. It doesn't make any sense to us. I don't agree with it. Mess Around doesn't agree with it. And Dragon Viper doesn't agree with it. So it's really hard for us to answer that question. We don't know. All right. So Dragon Viper, go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
My thoughts, it was a good match. I agree with you guys about the, ring rope breaking off. It was good to see Sheamus and Keith Lee getting along during this match. I agree with Mess Around. Keith Lee's a real big guy and very agile. I've liked him since he, came to the main roster. That's all I got.
All right. So touching on one of the comments really, really quick that Brandon Herrera was talking about that could potentially happen when it came to Morrison. He said, Morrison wins the Rumble, Miz cashes in and wins at the Rumble. Here's the thing about that. As much as, you might be saying that it's a good idea, I don't see it happening only due to the fact that Morrison really isn't a main event guy. He's not that main eventer. He's never been a main eventer. Morrison is more of a of a tag team mid-card guy. That's what he does. Does he have the talent to be a top star? I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. He's got the talent, but he's never been there. And I don't even see that current push going that way right now.
I don't see it either, only because they have bigger names out there that are like top of the line. They're not mid-carders like Morrison is. Morrison's going to be a career mid-card guy, and that's just who he is.
All right. So, Mr. Dragon Viper, go ahead and give us the next match of the night, please.
Next match was Sheamus versus Keith Lee.
All right. So, mess around. Go ahead and give us your thoughts on this match.
So that was really weird. Like, they didn't show, like, they went to break, and they were all giving each other high five. They won the match. And all of a sudden, it comes back and they're facing each other. It's like, where did this come up from? Or at least I didn't see it. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. But, yeah, this is a really good match between two big guys that can really go blow for blow with each other. And Sheamus, I think, Keith Lee, Sheamus really respects him more after the match with the way he performed against him.
Yeah. All right. And Dragon Viper, go ahead and tell me what you thought about this match also.
What I thought about this match, I thought it was a real good physical match. I agree with Mess Around. I don't understand how it started. Before it went to break, like he said, they were shaking hands and enjoying the fact they won, and then you come back from break and they're against each other. So none of it made sense on how that even happened. And I mean, the one thing I don't understand is, are they trying to make it where Keith Lee, I don't remember who the superstar was before, who would always win win a lot of their matches, but couldn't win the title. Are they going to try and make Keith Lee the same thing, do the same thing? Win these matches. I mean, he beat Sheamus. So is he going to be one of those guys that are going to keep winning actual matches, but not win the big one?
No, he'll get there. He'll get there. Because as we've stated before, that Vince McMahon loves his big men. He's always said it. Like, he's a big guy fan when it comes to the ring, and Keith Lee is one of those guys. And so I think he's going to eventually, as long as Vince McMahon is running the company, Keith Lee is going to win his championship. I don't know when it's going to be, but he's going to win one. I still think he's still relatively new, so it's kind of a new flavor for everybody, and people are not quite sure exactly what to think of Keith Lee yet. And so we're looking at the point of, which way is Keith Lee going to go? Is Keith Lee going to continue to stay a face? Is he going to go heel? What do we think is going to happen? We don't quite know yet at this point. All right. So, Dragon Viper, go ahead and give me the next match of the night.
The next match was T-Bar versus Xavier Woods. Winner was T-Bar.
T-Bar.
From
Whoa. T-Bar. Whoa. All right. So, Mess Around, go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
There was really, I don't even get the point of why they had this match. They had no beef coming into this match, really. I know they fought against each other a few times before, but no direction with this. I think it's stayed true together because Kofi's out, and they can't get it back in the tag picture right away. So, but it was a good match for what it was.
Yeah, and we don't right now. We don't even know how long Kofi's going to be out for. We haven't really heard. So, if Kofi's out for a while, what direction do they go with Xavier Woods? That's kind of a question that we have to look at too. Is that, could he be a guy who could potentially, because he is on that tag team scene, could he be a guy that decides to join Retribution? I don't know, because Mess Around's been saying forever that he could potentially see that he could potentially see Ricochet joining Retribution. So, mess around. Go ahead. Oh no, sorry. You gave me your thoughts on this. So, Dragon Viper, go ahead and give me your thoughts.
My thoughts on this match. I didn't find any real excitement in this match. I thought it was pretty boring. I'm glad that T-Bar did win. As again, I've said I don't like Xavier Woods. I did read that it looks like it'll only be a few weeks before he's out because he did hurt his jaw. So I don't know if it was a few weeks or a few months that I saw. I do potentially see Xavier possibly joining Retribution, but that could also be slim. I think they just want to keep him on TV for singles matches until Kofi comes back. And I see Retribution going back on the winning track of matches.
So, Dragon Viper, I'm really confused. What is your problem with Xavier Woods? Because you said you've never been a fan of this guy.
I've never been a fan of Xavier Woods or Kofi Kingston. I never have.
My gosh. Oh my goodness.
The whole New Day, even when it started, I didn't like it. I never really liked Kofi when he first showed up even. I just wasn't a big Kofi or Xavier Woods guy, so.
Okay, here's my thing though. Like, I've said before that I think that the New Day should split up because I got tired of the New Day. But I will say I like Xavier Woods. I like Kofi Kingston. So I have no problem with them. I just don't like the tag team of New Day anymore. It's just one of the old tag teams. I think it needs to be time to where the tag team should split up and start something fresh. Maybe Kofi can go his own way, and then he can start to get back in that main event picture again like he was once. And I know you hated it when Kofi was there, but I truly think that Kofi deserves it again. He should be that guy.
I'm not against their athleticism. They are very athletic. That's the only thing I really like is the fact that they're athletic and they're very talented. I don't know. It's just those two irritate me so much. So I'm not against their talent. I am against everything else dealing with them. Oh, geez.
All right. Well, go ahead and give us the next match of the night then, because we're getting off this Xavier Woods thing here.
Next match was Lashley versus Riddle for the U.S. title, and the winner, no surprise, Lashley.
And no surprise, the match ended the same way it always ends, with his little master lock again. That's the same way it always wins every time. This time, though, if you remember, Matt Riddle did the double tap out with both hands just for effect, So it really had to look good. And then if you remember right afterwards, when Matt Riddle was like, well, maybe I can't beat you, but MVP, I can definitely beat you. And so it was kind of interesting how they went that route also. But as long as Lashley and Matt Riddle are battling, I can tell you now, I think Lashley's just going to continue to get win after win after win after win after win, which I think is going to kind of get old after a while. Maybe, just maybe at the Rumble, if they have a match at the Rumble, maybe Matt Riddle picks up a victory there. I don't know. Maybe. So, Dragon Viper, go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
Like I said, it wasn't shocking. It was very predictable. It was a short match. In fact, both when he faced against Riddle, faced against Lashley and MVP, they were both short. I don't know. I thought they were kind of boring. I felt they were time filler. You're right that as long as Riddle faces Lashley, whether if it's for the title or not. Lashley's going to win with the same hold. Not much more than that.
And let me tell you this, yet again, Brandon Herrera must know that I was not a Leo Rush fan, because it seems like every single episode he has to put in the comments and continue to go, Lashley. And I thought that when Leo Rush did that, that was one of the most annoying things I have ever seen. Man, you know, the funny thing about that, Will, is I know you're out here saying that Lashley needs to be used as a main eventer, and maybe he should be, but the thing is like right now I'm getting tired of the overusing of the big men in the main event picture. It's time to start seeing some of the smaller guys in the main event ones. You know, guys like Dolph and guys like Kofi, guys like The Miz, guys who can actually go out there and are very athletic. That's the type that I'm ready to see out there be in the main event picture now, not just the big men week after week after week after week. So, Metzround, go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
This match is getting old quick. It seems like you keep running it back week after week. It's getting old. I don't have much saying. It's Hurt Lock. Slaps a Hurt Lock on him. It's over. The end. Every week. Except for the week when Riddle pulled off the upset and made the ref think he didn't tap. That was different. It'd be nice to see Lashley learn a new move or two, like your wife said.
Yeah.
And, you know, I agree with you. Bring up the little guys. Bring back Finn Balor from NXT. Let him have another run with the title. I miss the Demon Balor.
He won't, though, because they didn't use him right when he was on the main event roster.
I know, he likes it down there in NXT.
And touching on the other thing that Will was just saying about Lashley, you know, being that next Brock Lesnar in his first stint or whatever. If you remember this time when they re-signed Lashley this time, the plan was originally for Lashley to actually come in and wrestle against Brock and take his title. That was the first plan. That was the original plan, but they never actually went through with that plan. They changed it.
No, instead they put him in a stupid love triangle with Rusev and Lana.
Yep.
Right, and that was just weird. So I don't know if they were bringing him back to do that. Why not just do it? Just do it, because I think everybody was kind of expecting it, and then it never happened. All right. So, Dragon Viper, go ahead and give us the next match of the night.
Next match was Drew Gulak versus AJ Styles. Winner, AJ Styles.
You know why AJ Styles won? Because he's the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Okay. You say, yeah, but AJ Styles is that guy.
No, he's great. He really is. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I want to know. You're saying, yeah, like you have a problem with AJ Styles or something, you know?
No, I think he's great.
I will say this, though. Like, I'm glad he won this match. Obviously, he wins almost all of his matches. He barely loses, and it's because it's AJ Styles. He is that main event guy. But the one thing that I really wish that they would not do right now with AJ Styles is they need to get rid of Otis. You know, they need to get rid of his bodyguard.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. It does not make any sense. But AJ Styles, this was, I will say this though about this match. This was two talented wrestlers in the ring. They can both wrestle. Even though the Drew Gulak thing, I'm still not sure where they're going with this because he was there. And then the rumor was that Gulak was leaving because he didn't like where his character was and the direction that the company was going. And then he came back. And so now that he's back, I'm like, what are they doing with him? Okay, they put him against AJ Styles. And now you're starting to see Gulak more and more and more. So is he going to finally get that push? I don't know. But I love this match because it was two talented guys in the ring. So, mess around. Go ahead and give me your thoughts.
Yeah, there's no way they were going to have AJ Styles lose to a guy like Drew Gulak. Even though Gulak can wrestle and he's really talented, he can out wrestle most half the roster probably. The guy's super talented. He should be like a upper mid, maybe not upper mid card, but a mid carder at best. And they throw him in these gimmicky matches. They had him as a 24-48 7-11 champion. So, yeah, I like the match. And it's like I said, there's no way that he was going to win. They weren't going to have him win over AJ Styles. It just wasn't happening.
All right, so Dragon Viper, go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
My thoughts was that I feel it was a time filler as well, except for the fact of they wanted AJ on TV. There was no. I agree. There was no way that they could have put it to where Gulak would beat AJ. And I agree with Ace on that they need to get rid of Omos because AJ doesn't need him. AJ can win on his own, and most of his matches, I think that Omos is going to get involved, but he really doesn't. Both of them, both Gulak and Styles have talent. Yeah, good match for what it was.
And to go on that, AJ Styles needs to be on there every night. AJ Styles just has to. He's one of your main attractions. He's what's going to bring in fans. So you have to have AJ Styles in some kind of match every single night. All right. So Dragon Viper, go ahead. And what was next?
Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose.
Oh boy, again, we keep getting this every week. All right, mess around. You go ahead and take it away.
See, this is why Raw is so bad. Like, they keep running back these matches that we've seen forever in the last 3 months. I've seen it. We've talked about it. No need to talk about it. I got nothing to add to this match that we haven't already seen.
No, but I would say that the most interesting thing about this match is at the very end, when you see Nia, it looks like she's going to jump off the top rope, and then Shayna just tags herself in and then comes in and then gets the tap out. And then you can see that Nia's like, wait, what are you doing? So you can kind of see that Nia was a little bit upset that Shayna had tagged herself in, and then she was like, all right, whatever. So I think that this is something that you're gonna continue to see as the weeks go on, and then you're gonna end up seeing Shayna against Nia. You're gonna see the Queen of Spades versus the unstoppable force.
I did think for a second there that she was going to turn on Shayna at the end there. I thought she was going to attack her from behind, but it didn't happen. It would have been cool if it did, though.
Yeah, and you know what, Will? That is one thing that Triple H has came out and said in interviews before, because Will's talking about the whole going back to 2 hours on Raw. And you know what? I would say that I would agree with that because Triple H has come out before, and Triple H says it's hard. It is hard to come up with a 3-hour show. So a lot of these matches that you see are fillers because it's just hard to fill in a 3-hour show. But then yet again, my thing is, and if you're going to have a 3-hour show, instead of making these fillers, give these other people chances. Get these other people that don't get to wrestle a lot and put them in there, but actually make them in some kind of rivalry so it actually makes sense.
Right.
All right. So, Dragon Viper, do you have anything else left to say on this match?
Yeah, not really. The only thing I really had to say was I feel that maybe this is a start of Nia and Baszler splitting up and the foundations in their team cracking because of the end of the match. That's all I had.
All right, so let's go to the next one.
The last thing was Triple H versus Randy Orton in a fight, which no winner. I'm confused by the ending. I don't know.
So, Randy, it seems like you were confused about a lot of things going on in Raw here, but this to me made sense because if you pay attention at the end, you kind of know what's going on because this has been a thing that's been going on for weeks now. You know, with Alexa and then the Fiend. So,
well, I would have really liked to see a winner with Triple H now and Randy Orton. I would have liked to see a winner. I love both of those two. I would have loved to see a winner before that all went down.
but it wasn't a true match. It was just a challenge. So you wouldn't have had a real winner because it was just a Randy Orton challenge to Triple H. That's all it was.
Well, I would have liked to see a little more. I don't know. My opinion, only because of the fact that I really like those two, and I like seeing them fight. So,
all right, mess around.
Excellent match. Even though it was short, it's always awesome to see the game in the ring doing what he does.
Oh
Being
yeah,
this
absolutely.
assassin, you know. And then he gets that sledgehammer, goes black, and you see the sledgehammer on fire. That was awesome. And then Alexa Bliss shoot the fireball at him and hit Randy in the face.
I loved it.
That was golden too. That
It was
whole
awesome.
segment, that whole sequence of events that happened, you couldn't have written it better.
and then Triple H disappeared in the midst of all that too. So,
Right?
Yeah,
It was
it was
That
cool.
was gold, the best part of Raw.
It was
Even though
cool.
it was like 10, 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
That was the best part of Raw, the highlight of Raw.
All right. So now shifting away from the Raw side, how about we jump into a little SmackDown Live, a little Friday Night SmackDown, which some people actually say that right now SmackDown is actually bringing better material. That's what people are saying right now. And to me, it really depends on the week. I mean, honestly, it really does. There's some weeks that I'm like, wow, SmackDown just killed it and just blew Raw away. And then other weeks I'm like, they were both kind of, yeah. So mess around. Go ahead and give us the first match of the night on SmackDown.
First match of the night, we got Jey Uso against Shinsuke Nakamura with Shinsuke getting the victory.
Yeah, so isn't it kind of cool when you look at this match? Isn't it kind of cool that it seems like Shinsuke is now going back to being a face again?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think he's better as a heel, honestly. But him being a face, you can go so many directions with that, with him being a face. So it's good that they're trying to turn him that way.
Yeah, and I liked this match. This was a good match again. Yet again,
Can you turn on the laptop and keep
you
the voice
see
down a little bit,
you
please?
see Jey Uso losing the match again, like he's been basically doing every single week, and Shinsuke getting the win. So at what point is Jey Uso going to finally turn on Roman Reigns? I think we're waiting to see it because as you saw on SmackDown, you know, when Nakamura came out and said, okay, if Roman Reigns is the big dog and the head of the table, then you're his little puppet. So maybe at some point, Jey Uso is going to realize maybe I am just his puppet, and maybe they'll make it to where he will end up turning on Reigns. I've been waiting for it forever. But I like the match. I'm glad that Shinsuke won. I like the way that they're building this up. So Dragon Viper, go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
My thoughts on this match, I felt it was an okay back and forth kind of match. I was glad that Nakamura did win. I'm just wondering the same thing. How much longer is his losing streak gonna be? Jey Uso's, as well as, you know, the continuing degradation of Roman Reigns to Jey Uso every time he loses. Yeah, I'm just wondering how much longer Jay's gonna end up losing.
Well, truthfully, what I think is going to happen, and this is kind of to kind of answer the question that Amy was asking about when is Jimmy coming back. Well, right now I don't know when Jimmy's coming back, but what I do think is going to happen though is that I think when Jimmy Uso comes back, he's going to talk to his brother, be like, "Hey, what you're doing is completely wrong," and so I think that Jimmy and Jay are going to end up both turning on Reigns and costing Reigns his title. I just personally, I could see that happening.
It would take his brother to do that. Yeah.
But mess around. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
This was this really good match. Two guys that can really light it up in the ring. They really know how to tell a story in there. Both excellent wrestlers. Good match. I thought at one point when Cesaro came down, though, I thought Cesaro was going to turn on Nakamura and join the head of the table.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would have been kind of cool, but it didn't happen. So, yeah, it's a good match. And I really like the aggressiveness that Jey Uso has brought to the table ever since he's joined the head of the table. The side of him that you don't see often, so that's kind of neat.
All right, mess around. Go ahead and give us the next match of the night.
The next match is Natalya versus Liv Morgan.
Yep. All right, mess around. You can go ahead and start out with this one.
David, you're gonna have to keep it down or keep that in the car.
Yeah. So mess around. You go ahead and give us your thoughts on that one.
I like the match. It had my girl in there, Liv Morgan. You know the cute one. She's really talented, and it really showed tonight in the match. I like the way they're showcasing her by giving her the one-on-one matches, because you don't get to see that side of her a lot, being that she's with Ruby in the tag matches. So it's a really good match. And then Billie Kay cost her the win by getting involved in the end. That was funny. It was a funny match, good match.
Yeah, but if you thought about it, she's kind of done it like back-to-back weeks, but it's happened. But it's happened to tag. It's just weird how she's been doing this like week in and week out, and it's going to be interesting to see, what the direction of Billie Kay is going to be, because I don't know exactly what they're doing with Billie Kay. All I know is they're putting her in this little group, but they have no direction with Billie Kay at this point. So, Dragon Viper, go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. Still confused about what they're doing with, Billie Kay. I honestly think that right now would not be a good time if they're trying to push the Riot Squad. I don't think it right now would be a good time for Billie Kay to be involved with them as the Riot Squad's got momentum going, could possibly go for the tag titles. I feel if they keep having Billie Kay involved with them, she's going to bring them down and start, they're going to start losing matches because of her and start slowing down that momentum that they've been getting. So I honestly want to see, Billie Kay, as funny and comedic as she's being on there. I actually want to see Billie Kay go deal with someone else so that the Riot Squad continues their momentum and becomes tag champs.
All right. So, mess around. Why don't you go ahead and give us that next match of the night?
The next one we got Rey Mysterio versus my boy King Corbin, with Corbin getting the win.
What's funny about that is you've been a Corbin guy forever,
right.
And this is kind of interesting, though, because this whole thing with Corbin and the Mysterios has kind of been going on for like a long time. So it kind of makes you wonder, when is this thing between Corbin and the Mysterios going to end?
It's going to end when Dominic turns on Rey. That's when it's going to end. And it's coming soon, I think.
Yeah, you could kind of see maybe glimpses and pieces tonight of it, because you could see the frustration on Dominic Mysterio when Dominic's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna sit back and I'm going to respect his wishes, and if he wants me to sit back and not get involved, I'll sit back and I won't get involved." And but I think he was clearly frustrated. I think you could see that tonight. So
Well, if you listen to the match, you hear Corey Graves like trying to get in his head. You need to stand up for your father. You need to do something. You can't just stand there. That's what this is all about. And then eventually Corbin punched him and he did get involved and cost his dad the win. But this match was really entertaining. It was good with the storyline and everything. Eventually it's going to turn. Dominic's going to turn on Ray. We can all see it coming.
oh yeah, we've been talking about that from like the very beginning. All right, so Dragon Viper, go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
I thought it was a okay match. I did not like the fact that Corbin won because I can't stand Corbin. I think he's pompous and arrogant, but besides the point. I honestly think that Dominic is going to get tired of losing and get tired of his dad losing, and I agree. We'll end up turning on Ray. I really like Ray, but they've I don't know, they are losing a lot more than they should, and I think Dominic's going to get tired of it and get tired of the fact that he's there to help his dad, and his dad doesn't want him helping. So I as well see a split between those two, and Dominic turning on Ray.
Yeah, Corbin's another one of those underused guys. He's not used as well as he could be because Corbin is actually very, very talented. I will give him that. But
Correct.
he is very, very underused. All right, so Mr. Mess Around Dave, go ahead and give us that next match of the night there, sir.
We got Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro. I'm sorry I'm laughing because of the segment before that when it started working out again.
Oh, yeah.
He's teaching how to up the air.
Yeah, on the thrusts. Yeah.
It's really weird.
Now, this is actually the point I was going to bring up when you were talking about the whole, when Cesaro came down with Nakamura, you thought that Cesaro was going to turn on Nakamura. Well, now when you look at this way, you can see that Nakamura looks like he's going face. But what is the direction of Cesaro? Because that Daniel Bryan is a face. And if Cesaro is going to continue to wrestle Daniel Bryan, then is Cesaro going to be face too, or is he going to stay heel? And then if he stays heel, then you're going to end up seeing Cesaro turn on Nakamura. You're gonna see it at some point.
I think that's the direction they're going to go, honestly. I'm surprised we didn't see it tonight. I thought it was going to happen when he came down for Nakamura's match.
Yeah, and Cesaro, too. When you talked about one of the guys that are very underused, Cesaro's another one of those
He's
guys.
Definitely another guy, yeah.
Cesaro is very, very talented, too. He could be in a main event slot, but he's not there either. He's very, very talented, but still way underused. All right, so Dragon Viper, go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
I thought this match was really good. I like both of them. I like Cesaro. I like Daniel Bryan. I feel that Daniel Bryan is going to end up, continuously losing the next couple matches to make him look like that maybe he doesn't have it anymore. Then go to the Rumble and win it. But I feel that they're going to end up separating Nakamura and Cesaro. But I feel like they're going to separate those two, and like it was said that Cesaro turning heel and Nakamura turning face, and then eventually Cesaro's going to end up attacking Nakamura probably from behind or when Nakamura's down or something. So.
All right. So Mess Around. This is your boy. This is your boy, Baron Corbin. I'm just kidding. All right. So go ahead. Go ahead and give me your final thoughts on this match.
I like the match. The match was good. It ended the way it should have. I thought, because they're going towards that direction with the Mysterios having a family feud. Like you alluded to earlier, King Corbin, dude, this guy needs a title push.
Dude, we were talking about
mid-card time.
Cesaro and Daniel Bryan.
Oh, you said my boy.
Yeah, I know. I was just throwing that out there. But yeah, I was saying Cesaro and Daniel Bryan.
You threw me off by saying my boy. None of these guys. Okay, so Cesaro and Daniel Bryan, really good match. Two guys that can really light it up in the ring. They can, they're both really elite wrestlers. Cesaro definitely needs to be up there more. I think they're going to end up having that feud with him and Nakamura because they can't both be faces, right? I mean, Cesaro's better off as a heel.
Yeah.
So it was a good match. Interesting to see where it goes with this Cesaro Nakamura thing.
Yeah, it's not very often that you see face versus face. You just don't see it very often, or you usually don't see heel versus heel. It's just generally something that you don't see. You usually have a face and a heel. All right, mess around.
Okay, so the final match of the night is Apollo Crews versus Sami Zayn, with Crews getting the win.
Yeah, which I think it was kind of funny how Sami Zayn goes again to get that roll up by grabbing the tights, and the referee's like, I see that. And then Apollo Crews does the roll up and grabs the tights, and then he gets the victory. And I think we saw a little bit more of Sami Zayn than what we wanted to see. But,
Right.
but
Can we get a center, please?
huh?
Can we get a center, please?
Yeah, a little bit more of
Yeah.
than we all wanted to see. But yeah, so Apollo Crews ended up getting the roll up and by grabbing the tights and beating Sammy. And then now you see that afterwards, you see that Apollo Crews was actually looking at Big E on the outside and grabbed that Intercontinental title that Big E has, and he's like, yeah, I'm going after this. So you can kind of see that Apollo Crews and Big E are going to start now, that they're going to start a rivalry, and you might even see Apollo Crews win it at some point. I don't know. But, all right, mess around. Go ahead and give me your thoughts.
I like the match. If you watched the beginning of Raw, you saw Apollo Crews talking with Roman Reigns. So I think Crews is going to win it. He's going to line himself with the head of the table, and they're going to help him win the title eventually. Crews is like really super athletic, and he needs to be used more that way. He deserves like a title somewhere, but at the same time, it's too soon to take it off Big E. He just got it. That guy deserves it too. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what they're going to do.
He's very super athletic. All right, so Dragon Viper, go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
On this match, it was a good match. I seriously think that it's starting of an actual feud between those two. Maybe not this soon, but I do end up seeing Crews winning the Intercontinental title, possibly with the help of maybe Reigns, because it looks like he is trying to align himself with Reigns and the head of the table. And I feel that they're trying to turn Crews into a heel anyways, for this feud between Big E and Apollo Crews. So, I mean, that's how I feel with that.
All right, so, and mess around, it's kind of like you said, we had no more matches on the night, but when you watch the ending of SmackDown and you kind of see how things turned out, to where you have Adam Pearce come down with his contract, and then they kind of sign it. And then Adam Pearce is like, I've been waiting for that all night. And then as he's walking away, he's like, oh, as what every contract states. And then he starts talking on the back, but you really couldn't hear it because the microphone was cutting out. And so I don't know if you guys actually saw, but Vince McMahon was actually pretty upset about that because there was a technical difficulty that his mic was not working. And so you couldn't hear everything that Adam Pearce was saying. But in the end, basically Adam Pearce is like, as you know, I'm not going to be medically cleared for the Royal Rumble. So with that being said, Kevin Owens is going to come in and going to take my spot. And then here it comes, Kevin Owens coming out. Now it's going to be Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns in a last man standing match. Yeah. Is this going to be the match that Roman Reigns loses his title? Is
Yes.
it going to be it?
No.
Yes.
And here's why. They don't want to take it off of him before WrestleMania. They want to have him in a big-time match at WrestleMania against The Rock or some big-time name. They're not going to let KO win the title too soon, and they want to keep the big dog, the head of the table with a big name at WrestleMania.
I want to agree with you, but here's the thing on that. There's no way, and The Rock says no way. All right, no, I'm just saying. So that they're gonna bring The Rock back in for another match against Roman Reigns with a belt on the line, and then come in and beat Reigns. I just don't see that happening.
I'm not saying The Rock. I'm just saying, just throwing a name out there. I'm just saying it's going to be a big name. It could be a guy like Seth Rollins, for all I know. That'd be even better than having KO win it. Have the show again.
No, KO definitely deserves it, man.
I'm not saying he doesn't. He definitely deserves the title, but I just don't see them taking it off of him before Mania.
I do.
I think it's going to happen. I really think it does. You know what, though? Wouldn't that be funny, though? I just thought of an idea, because Brandon was talking about Jay versus KO at Mania, but I'm saying, wouldn't that be funny, though, if, Reigns wins and then Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble, and then he has to face Reigns at WrestleMania?
Right, that would be funny.
Yeah,
if he wins, he's going to go to Raw and challenge Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. All right. So now that Raw's over, SmackDown's over, now we'll jump to our 3-count topics that we have. And I'll tell you, some of these topics we have been waiting for. And the first topic that we have is who is going to be the top 5 superstars, past or present, that found better success when they got to the WWE coming from other companies. And mess around, Dave, I'll go ahead and I'll start with you.
Okay, so I honestly couldn't think of any new guys to put on my list, so it's all old school guys. So number 5, Booker T. 4, I got Jericho. 3, I got Eddie Guerrero. 2, Triple H. And number 1, Stone Cold.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what. You took my Chris Jericho, man, because Chris Jericho was number 1 on my list. Because
Jericho,
everything that he has accomplished from coming elsewhere and coming to WWE, he took off. Once he hit WWE, he took off. And he was so big with WWE. All right, Mr. Dragon Viper, you go ahead and give me your list.
All right, I got number 5, AJ Styles. Number 4, Dean Ambrose. Number 3, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Number 2, The Undertaker. And number 1, Triple H.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. And, it's kind of...
I was on my list because he had success everywhere he's been. That's
who are you talking about?
On my list.
Huh?
I couldn't put Styles on my list because he's been a champion no matter where he's been. So he was already named before he got to the WWE.
Well, he was, but man, it's so hard because this list for me, pretty much you guys already had my list all wrapped up already. So it's because it's the main guys that you saw that came from different agencies, guys like Chris Jericho and guys like AJ Styles and guys like Ambrose and people like that you've seen that have come in. Those are the main guys that have really done it. And Stone Cold, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, individuals like that. So it's hard to only make a list of 5.
Right.
It really, really is because of all the accomplishments that they have all gotten. All right. So now, coming to question 2, we have, which past or present WWE superstar would you like to see WWE do a last ride documentary for, just like they did with The Undertaker? Well, for me, honestly, and that's just because I guess I could be biased about it. And so, Mess Around, you probably know where I'm going with this one. Since they did one on The Undertaker, you got to do one on Mr. the Demon Kane. You have to. You have to do one on the Big Red Machine. Because if you've done one on The Undertaker, Undertaker and Kane go hand in hand. It's the brothers of destruction. So I would love to see one done on Kane also. All right, Mess Around, what do you think?
I am going to go with AJ Styles on this one. And only because he's still a current wrestler, and he said that when his contract was up, he was going to retire. And that's up in like a year or so. So they could start the documentary now and document his last few matches, kind of like they did with Taker. And I think that would be kind of cool to see.
All right. Dragon Viper?
I was thinking of somebody who doesn't wrestle anymore, but I was thinking Jerry the King Lawler.
Puppies!
Puppies! Yeah, so there's actually a few things in the comments here that I could see that would make sense. Like Will saying he would like to see a documentary on Jeff Hardy because of his outside struggles, with drugs and addiction and everything. So I think that would be pretty cool. And even Imi saying, maybe Shawn Michaels, maybe The Big Show. I would also like to see one on like this is going to sound weird, but personally, I would like to see one on Shane McMahon also. I think that would be cool to see one on Shane McMahon because you never know when Shane McMahon is coming and going, and you never know if he actually wrestled his last match. So I think it would be cool to see that build up for when he shocked everybody and just returned at that one point.
Or even Vince McMahon. That'd be cool to see one on him too.
Yeah, well, I would, when Vince McMahon is ready to retire and give up the company, that would be a great time to do one.
Or Goldberg.
No, don't want to see it. Don't care.
Nope.
Don't care. Don't care at all. All right. So number 3, top 5 gimmick matches you would like to see WWE use more or bring back.
Who's going for it?
I was deciding on this one. All right, Matt, mess around. You go ahead.
Okay, so number 5, the bra and panties match. I mean, who doesn't want to see that?
Oh,
Give me Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss any day of the week in that match. I'm just saying, I'd watch that multiple times. Number 4, submission match. 3, Iron Man match. 2, 3 stages of hell. And number 1, the championship scramble.
Woo! Championship scramble. All right, Dragon Viper.
All right, me, I have number 5 as a leather strap match. Number 4, object on a pole match. 3, Iron Man match. 2, First Blood match. And 1, 3 stages of hell match.
Nice. Well, yeah, so that First Blood match, I think because of the era that we're in, I think that it would be good to bring it back. I really think it would. But if I was looking at my top 5 gimmick matches that I would like to bring back, there was actually so there was one, and I've seen it like one time. And if I remember, it was Jake the Snake Roberts, and I can't remember who else he was going against, but it was a blindfold match. And I would love, and dang it, Will, you just took my other match.
I knew it. I was going to say that, but I saved it for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say the blindfold match. I would love to see back again, and that's where both competitors were blindfolded. I would love to see that. Number 4, the Punjabi prison. I would love to see that. That we saw it one time, and when I saw it, I'm like, yeah, that match is awesome. I want to see it back. And when they were talking about it, like Hornswoggle actually came out and was asked a question about that, and Hornswoggle was like, yeah, I went up and touched it, and he's like, that bamboo was hard. He's like, so I can imagine what it felt like when you're being thrown against it. So I think that would be another match that I would like to see. Man, it was so hard because there's so many matches in the past that I thought were actually kind of cool that I wish that they would bring back. And okay, Rick the Model versus Snake. Yeah, so I knew it was, I just couldn't remember who it was, but I knew it was Jake the Snake versus somebody that did that blindfold match. And it would be cool. A first blood match, it'd be nice to see that one again. Because I think, and you guys probably agree with me on this one too, I think we're tired of this PG era, and it's time to go back to that first blood match like it was way back then.
Absolutely.
To where it was, to where it was insane. See, Will's got Buried Alive match. That was cool. What? You're shaking your head no? Why not?
I'm shaking my head no because I can't, after with Undertaker being done, I honestly can't think of anybody who would, even remotely be good in a Buried Alive match. It was an Undertaker kind of thing. So
Fiend would be good at it.
All right. So, right. No, yeah. No, I completely agree with you on that. But so I would go away from that championship scramble a little bit, and I would actually add to it. And the reason I'm going to add to it is because if you remember Armageddon, the 6-man Armageddon Hell in a Cell match from years ago when it was The Rock and Kurt Angle, Rikishi, Stone Cold, and Triple H, and The Undertaker. That's the kind of match that I want to see. I want to see another 6-man Hell in a Cell, maybe scramble this time. I think that would be fantastic because that was one of the greatest matches I have ever seen. I loved that match. That was one of my favorites of all time. And man, you have got to bring that match back. And then just a funny gimmick, just to be funny, I wanted to say hair versus hair. I thought that was kind of cool. You find somebody that values their hair, and it's like, you know what? If you lose your hair. So that was my top 5. And we have some more comments on the side here. I miss Raw Roulette, best way of the year. When they did the Raw Roulette, that was actually pretty cool. When you didn't know what type of match you were getting, it was just put up there. It was a randomly selected thing. That was pretty cool.
As long as we don't get the anonymous GM back with it, I'm fine with it.
No, but I think was a tough idea. No, but I think if WWE would actually go with wanting to listen to what the fans wanted, I think it would be pretty cool for WWE to be like, look, we're going to give you these 4 different types of matches if you want to see them, and then the fans get to vote, like the people power. But we all know that when we did the people power, it didn't actually count. That was just something that they still wanted to do. The people power thing didn't actually count. But I'm saying it would be cool if it actually counted, if they actually had the fans interact and say, this is what I want, and actually listen to what the fans wanted. I think it would be pretty cool.
Well, they did that once with Cyber Tuesday.
Huh?
They did that once with Cyber Tuesday where the fans voted on the matches.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of cool.
I'm gonna throw in one last topic, just really quick, and it's an easy one. It's gonna be super, super easy because I just talked about probably my favorite match of all time during a pay-per-view. So if you really had to think about it, if you had to say what was probably one of your favorite matches of all time at a pay-per-view, what would you say?
Who's going first?
I'll go with Mess Around Dave.
My favorite match of all time, The Undertaker and Mankind, Hell in a Cell. Or the cell match when he puts him through the top of the cell and he falls and lands on those tags. He's got the tag hanging on his nose, throws him off the top of the cage onto the announcer's desk. They have to take him out. He comes back, says he's not done. That match was just the greatest match of all time to me. I love that match.
Yeah, but if you remember, too, that when Undertaker chokeslammed Mankind on top of the cell, he was not supposed to fall through it.
No, he wasn't.
The cell just broke, and he went through it. So that was actually
so much better.
Yeah, so that was something that was actually accidental. But I gave Mankind a lot of credit because he kept going, man. And I can imagine that one hurt. Like, that really, really hurt. So, SummerSlam 2008, Edge versus Taker, mainly because I saw it live. Taker sent Edge to hell. Yeah, that was a good match. Also, I did like that match, but I love, like I said, I cannot get past that 6-man Hell in a Cell match. That was awesome because yet again you saw another guy go off the top of the cell. You saw Taker throw Rikishi off the top of the cell in the back of a truck. It was cool. So, Dragon Viper, what would you say was probably your favorite match of all time?
Oh man, there's so many. I guess one of my top favorites would have to be Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, first ever Hell in a Cell when Kane showed up for the first time. That would have to be one of my top matches.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like it.
Another good one, the Montreal Screwjob. The inning sucked, but that match is probably the most talked about match.
It is.
So I will tell you, besides that one though, but there's actually one match that I think is extremely underrated, and I want to see what you guys are thinking about this. So think back. I talked about it a little bit. Not the match itself, but a person that was in this match. When you think about when Shane McMahon first came back this time, and then Vince is like, you're going to face Undertaker at WrestleMania and Hell in a Cell. That match, I thought, was a completely underrated match.
It was.
The Shane McMahon versus Taker, that match was awesome. I love that match.
Was that the Hell in a Cell match?
Yes, that was the Hell in a Cell match.
Yep, it was great.
That match, I'm like, man, that like Shane was going high flying in that match. That was awesome. I loved it, and I would love to see that one again. All right, so I think that's just about it for us tonight. So, Mr. Mess Around Dave, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you 30 seconds to say whatever it is left that you need to say.
Yeah, jeez. Raw just needs to get better. That's all I'm going to say. I'm tired of watching the same matches week in and week out. I know 3 hours is hard to fill. You got to run them back to fill the time, but can we at least make the innings better, something new that we haven't seen? Gosh, it's just awful.
All right, Mr. Dragon Viper, you got 30 seconds to say whatever it is you need to say.
Well, it's like I say every week. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Watch every Sunday night. We'll be on here. The other thing I want to say is I agree with Mess Around Dave. WWE has got to get better. Raw and SmackDown. Right now, Raw even. Raw is just, the 3 hours is killing them. They've got 3 hours for Raw, 2 hours for SmackDown, and 3 to 4 hours for a pay-per-view. they need to figure something out and possibly put Raw back at 2 hours and up their rating from PG up to like TV 14 or whatever. They've got to do better, or they're going to get blown out. So there you go.
All right, and then last but very not least, we have our last ad of the night, which is actually Anchor. So when you think about Anchor, think about this. So let's say you're like, man, I've been wanting to catch that Between the Ropes show tonight. I want to hear what they had to say. I want to hear their topics. Well, Anchor is a great way to do it if you could not catch us here. Now, with Anchor, you can't see us, but you can listen to the audio version. And the audio version is actually just as good. Or if there's even one topic you want to listen to, you can fast forward through some of it, get to that topic, and listen to it. And Anchor is actually a great way to start your own podcast if you actually want to. And then one last time with those shirts. So if you want to win a free shirt, all you have to do is go in the comments. You have to like, share, and comment. You can look at the shirt that Mess Around Dave is wearing now. It's an awesome shirt. It's one of our ASAP shirts. Like, share, comment as much as you can. Become that viewer of the month. And then if you cannot go on there and comment because you're working and you're like, but you know what? I still want those shirts. Well, guess what? You can still get those shirts. All you have to do is hit up anybody on the ASAP network, message them and let them know I want one of those shirts, and you get it for $14.99 plus shipping and handling, and we will get those shirts to you ASAP. ASAP. All right. And I want to thank everybody for watching, and you will see us again next week for another episode of Between the Ropes. And don't forget, tomorrow night is Real Talk. So, and I cannot also forget we have Sports Corner tomorrow night also. So I hope what?
I believe I'm on that show tomorrow, so
yeah,
check it out.
So I hope everybody has a fantastic night, fantastic week, and we will see you again if you smell what ASAP is cooking.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so time the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.